Now, Adam, other big news out of the US Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy today announced an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. There's corruption allegations swirling around the Biden family, particularly Hunter Biden and their business dealings. Have a listen to what he had to say.
House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct. Taken together, these allegations paint a picture of a culture of corruption.
Adam, what are the allegations here and how does this unfold?
Well, certainly there's a lot of evidence. I mean, some of the evidence has been around for many years in relation to Burisma and Hunter Biden and the allegations of corruption of Joe Biden as vice president in relation to Ukraine. But there is a lot of new stuff that has come out in the last 6 months. I mean, of course, we've had the laptop for a couple of years, the 10% for the big guy stuff, but there's hundreds of transaction reports from banks that flag suspicious activity in relation to the Bidens. And of course, we've had testimony suggesting that the president himself has lied about his knowledge of his family's business dealings. We know that there are dozens of shell companies. And we now know that $20 million odd has been transferred into those shell companies from foreign entities over the years. So this is the basis of evidence. The Democrats still maintain that he's done nothing wrong because Republicans have not found any direct evidence of transfers into the president's bank accounts. But there certainly seems to me, at least, to be the threshold to at least have an inquiry. I mean, it's worth pointing out this is not an impeachment vote. It is just a new committee that will be specifically tasked with looking at all of this evidence and trying to come up with a verdict on whether it reaches the threshold for an impeachment vote. I mean, the reality is this is always politics, and the Speaker's been under pressure to have this committee from his right flank. Some of his right flank have said that they won't vote for budget bills unless he has the impeachment inquiry. But nevertheless, it will be interesting to see what more they come up with.
Yeah. Look, we've covered extensively all the criminal and civil cases that Donald Trump is facing. But Joe Biden's recent blunders have now sparked concerns within the Democratic Party over whether he'll actually be able to run for president in 2024. This week, it was his speech at the G20 summit. He was asked about why he hadn't spoken to Xi. Have a look.
He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
I mean, look, one of many. We played other gaffes on the show last night. He's now slipping in the polls. Does it look like the Democrats will stick with him, or are there other candidates they could turn to?
Well, look, this is the big question right now. I mean, certainly I wrote a few months ago that I don't think that he'll be the candidate, and certainly his age and his performance is one of those reasons. But it's going to be very difficult for Democrats to get rid of him. I mean, there's no president in history that's kind of been persuaded not to try to run for a second term, and he is the president after all. But certainly there's lots of chatter about Gavin Newsom, and certainly the governor of California, who's a Democrat. He's a very polished performer, and I do note in recent weeks he's been going on Fox News, he's been giving a lot of centrist interviews, he's apologised for some of the COVID rules that he introduced, which all signals to me that he's trying to move to the centre. And interestingly, if you look at the betting markets, he has something like an 18% chance of becoming the Democrat nominee, and he hasn't even actually declared his hand. So just imagine if he actually did declare his hand. So there's still a long way to go yet. I mean, the primaries don't even start for 4 or 5 months, and then you've got a whole year almost. So, you know, it is possible that Biden, you know, changes his mind and decides to spend more time with his family. But Democrats are looking, I think, at a loss next year at this point, because 3/4 of the American public do not want Biden to run again, and about the same share say that he's not mentally up to it.
That's interesting you say that, because most people I speak to in this program say that the Democrats are on track to win because Donald Trump is the most likely Republican candidate, and people aren't expected to back him in when it comes to the general election. But Adam, we are out of time. I really appreciate your insights. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sharri.
Adam Creighton in Washington.